Welcome back. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for another Wild Wednesday. And joining me today is Education Specialist with the Great Plains Zoo, Allison Gould. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And who do you have with you?
Yes, so we have Shelly. She is our yellow-footed tortoise today. So they are the largest species of tortoise found in South America. They're usually found in the rainforest throughout the Amazon.
Okay, tell us kind of a little bit about what they eat, their diet. Things like that.
Yeah, so she, like most tortoises, is an herbivore. So she really goes for fruits, leaves, flowers, grasses, really anything that has bright color that she's able to see really well.
Like my dress.
Yeah. Sometimes they will eat bugs if that's just on whatever plant they're eating, but usually they go for those plants first.
Yeah, and then talk about kind of their habitat, where they usually, the kind of habitat they're in.
Yeah, so they're mostly going to be in a really warm, humid rainforest. That's where they thrive the most. And so everything they need is in that rainforest. They get a lot of food that falls down from the trees they'll eat off of the ground, but then the trees provide lots of shelter.
A lot faster than you think. Yes. Talk about that. Like turtles are known to be slow.
They are.
Can they move fast?
They definitely can, especially with her. She's usually just very motivated, so she'll go a little bit faster. But generally, the bigger the tortoises get, the slower they go, just because they have more weight to carry. If they're on the smaller side, they can usually go a little faster. But when they see food or something they really want, that's when they'll pick up their speed.
I can tell. Yeah. The motivation is there.
Absolutely.
She thinks I'm the flower maybe or something.
Yes.
And then I guess talk about her habitat at the zoo and kind of how you guys set that all up for her.
Yes, so since she would need a really warm and humid environment, she does go outside sometimes in the summer. But in the winter, she's inside all year round in a room that's temperature controlled. But we also spray her with water almost every day just to make sure that her shell and her skin aren't getting too dried out. And she does have a little pool of water, so she'll go and sit and soak in that just to keep her skin hydrated as well. But we're always making sure that it's nice and warm for her.
Yeah. And you mentioned they can like feel their shell. Talk about that cool feature.
Yes. Yeah. So with all turtles, since their shell is part of their body, they can feel everything that touches their shell. So that can help them to know if there's a predator trying to bite onto them. But some of them do really enjoy the feeling of scratches on their back because they can't always scratch it themselves. And so for her, she does have certain spots that if you scratch in just the right spot, she'll kind of wiggle into it. But we also are making sure we give her those different types of tactile enrichment just to make sure that she's getting what she needs.
Yeah. How does the shell also help kind of protect against a lot of things in their environment as well?
Yeah. So their shell is super strong. For her, at the thickest point, I'd say it's about 1.5 inches thick. So it's made out of bone, and then the top layer is keratin, just like our fingernails. So it is very strong and sturdy. And so she can pull herself almost all the way into that shell if there's a predator that is trying to bite on. But it goes all the way onto her belly, so it's covering pretty much her entire body to keep her really safe.
And how can people find her at the zoo?
Yeah, so she's one of our ambassador animals, so she does come out on a lot of different programs. But in the summer, she does have an outside yard right next to our Americas building, so sometimes you can spot her out there as well.
Okay. What's another fun fact or cool feature about Shelly?
Yeah, so she does get that name yellow-footed tortoise from the spots on her face and on her legs. I can turn it that way. So tortoises usually get their name by their features that they have. So she has some yellow on the front and on her face there.
Very cool. And then I guess also like the texture. I don't want to feel her, but what's the texture of like the rest of her body then?
Yeah, so their skin is more of a leathery texture. So it is a little bit dry, but you can see she has some wrinkles in there, so that just helps her to extend out, so she can stretch her neck really far. Her legs can stretch a little further out, so she's got a lot of room there to move.
She's active this morning.
She is.
I love it.
This is pretty normal for her. She's one of our more curious turtles, so she really likes to
my new best friend.
See new things and
my new bestie.
Yeah.
Hello. She might want to go home with me. Maybe I'll take her home. I don't know. Well, thank you so much for being here and bringing in Shelly.
Anytime.
Always fun. And we'll be back after the break.